guys, and welcome to another Schematics update. This time we want to talk about City Skylines again, because City Skylines just announced a new DLC out of freaking nowhere. It's called Industries, and I'm joined by Blind and Fog. Hey guys.
Hello.
Hello, Mayors.
So there is a new DLC, and we have seen some screenshots and some one trailer, not some trailer, but one trailer.
And some rad soundtrack.
Oh yeah, the soundtrack is probably the best. So there's a bullet point here says make it happen. Follow your products from harvesting to processing, storage and production, and then transport them to commercial zones or export to other cities.
Like actual transport lines for products and stuff, it sounds like.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like the industrial zones finally make sense.
And the next thing building on that, we've got what they title as Captain Your Own Industry. Define an area with the Industry Area tool and place highly specialized industrial buildings to build and manage the production chain from raw material extraction up to the final end product. Industry areas are divided into 4 types based on the natural resource they are processing: farming, forest, ore, and oil. None of this is new, but I guess they're changing how this works. These areas can level up. So it sounds like they're kind of taking the park system from Park Life and adding it in to the industry system. I'm very curious about how this is going to work.
Sounds almost as if they're taking a new take to old tech, but there's also new tech, looking at new industry buildings such as extractors, warehouse facilities, and processing and auxiliary buildings, as well as some props and roads so that people can make their own versions of these buildings. It looks like there's also going to be unique factories which have the possibility to maybe make luxury products. They might also have certain requirements for your city, like it might need a high workforce, or it might need certain supplies like water or electricity, and even potential internal or external connections. So it sounds cool.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering how it will work, because it sounds so much like production lines, which isn't in cities at all. Anyway, let's move on. If you've done all that what Fog just told you, ship it. Manage traffic and logistics with industry warehouses and the use of the new cargo service, including a cargo airport.
To me, what this sounds like is you're probably going to be using a tool similar to the bus line system, would be my assumption.
Yeah.
If anything, like they're talking about like actual shipping lines, so this is just going to make the traffic a hell of a lot more interesting, including the free update that we're going to be talking about in a minute as well. I'm very excited because I love transport routes. Like that's what makes games like this interesting to me. This is like, I was excited about Park Life. This might be the most excited I've been about a new expansion in a while. But continuing on, they mention they have the bullet point Go Postal, boost citizens' well-being with mail delivery and collection services. See, when they said Go Postal, I was thinking going postal, completely different, right?
Yeah.
You know, post sorting facilities and handle mail between outside connections and post offices. The new post van and truck vehicles be transporting stuff. So that's neat. I like a mail system. I'm not sure what that's going to do exactly, but we can now build Amazon, so that's pretty great.
To me, it sounds like the taxis, honestly.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Like you plop down a building and then just
totally.
random trucks appear.
Yeah, that could work.
Like taxis or garbage trucks, they kind of have a certain route that might affect certain traffic flow.
Absolutely.
You can wonk hard with 3 new industry policies and 4 citywide policies, and these are including workers' union, sorting, tolls, which means we might be seeing some kind of toll road, Wi-Fi, logistics, work safety, and automation. It feels like some of those will go one way and some will go other. Like work safety is more in favor of the workforce, whereas automation is automating the process and maybe relieving some of the workforce. There's going to be an interesting dynamic potentially in this update.
Well, and you can build all this stuff on 5 new maps, rich in natural resources, transportation options, and industrial opportunities.
Their maps have never been great.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I think I will completely ignore those. Probably won't even open them. I will go straight to the community because there are people putting thousands of hours into map creation in cities, and that's definitely where you want to be getting your maps from. It's nice that they include this, especially for people who play on console, though, when this does eventually come out for the console players. But for people on PC, not something you want to be paying attention to.
No, not at all.
Speaking of things we don't want to pay attention to, they're adding 4 new hats for Chirper. For those of you who still actually have Chirper, because I know one of the most popular mods is just delete Chirper.
Yeah.
But I'm still using the Snowfall Chirper hat with the little toque or beanie or whatever you call it. It just looks cool. But maybe they'll give us something awesome with the new radio station they're adding in the free update, which is just down below. But let's just do a real quick thoughts. Like, what are your impressions of this pack, just from what you've seen from the trailer, from the screenshots, like immediate thoughts?
I like it. I've seen quite a few people, almost for realism purposes, make these kind of areas, such as quarries, such as giant warehouse facilities, and maybe airports as well. The fact that these are going to now be part of what we could consider vanilla opens up more ideas in the community on how that people can implement it. More people will see the use of them and find the use of them.
Absolutely.
As opposed to it just being an aesthetic purpose.
I kind of agree. To be honest, when I play cities, I mostly ignore industries to the point I have to build them because my city wouldn't grow otherwise. But this sounds fun to me. Honestly, I'm really curious how it all will work out in the end. I'm pretty sure we will see some gameplay footage soon-ish.
I'm kind of with you, Adfo. I used to completely ignore industry because I always liked building very, very clean cities. I always went 100% down the green cities route, even if I didn't use all the stuff from the green cities expansion. I was always like, wind power, dams and whatnot. But the reason I did that was because I found the gameplay for the industrial zones boring. There was nothing happening there. It was just never interesting. You just plop down a whole bunch of buildings. I liked building farms, so that's usually where I got most of my industry from, because I like to use the mod that just says resources never deplete, so I would just have farms. And that always worked for me, and I liked the way the farms looked. I wish they were bigger, but that's a different story. But for this, I'm just really excited because this maybe will add some variation or actual gameplay to the resource gathering, and I'm very excited about that because if they just make that system more interesting, I'm all over this. And games like Rise of Industry and games like Transport Tycoon in the past, or even more recent games like, what's the name of it, Transport Fever, were all very fun games just purely about this. So if they can even get half of those mechanics into it, God, I'm excited.
So by the sounds of it, this update's going to be your jam. Speaking of jamming. The new radio station is something a bit different. 80s electro, breakbeats and futuristic synths. Every single 80s movie ever on a radio station. That sounds pretty good. And it features 16 original new songs over those 4 genres we mentioned earlier.
The free update will come alongside and introduce toll booths and road tolls, naturally. It will slow down traffic for a bit, but generate extra income. So essentially, it'll give you a point that you can place on your road, which will slow down traffic and give you some earned income for that section of street. I don't know why on earth you'd want to slow down traffic, but maybe if you have like a very big empty bridge, it might not be a bad idea initially, and then take it off when traffic gets bad. Could be interesting, especially maybe making some early game money when your roads are quieter. Or maybe if you need a sudden boost of income, like if you're going into the red, you just throw a toll booth on and delete it 2 days later. I could see that being a cool mechanic.
Obviously, once people get hold of these, there are going to be some really interesting uses for them. But the main impression that I get is you could actually use toll booths to make roads a little bit less favourable if they're like rat runs or cut throughs. So you can maybe control the traffic a little bit better because they don't want to pay like that £2 or $2, or maybe they don't even have that in their glove box.
Alright guys, let's wrap this up. First of all, I want to thank Blind and Fog for joining and talking about the just announced City Skylines Industries DLC, which is coming on October 23rd this year for the price tag of 14.99 euros and US dollar or your regional equivalent. If you like this video, smash the like, hit the smash and whatever button, press all the buttons you can find basically. If you really like this video, you may want to consider doing the extra step over to Coffee to buy Ed, our editor, a coffee so he can stay up all night in his little room with nothing but a PC editing our videos. Thanks a lot for watching again. See you next time. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for watching.